Welcome to 858 Society, where self-discovery meets transformation. I'm Ariel, your certified Master Spirit Life Coach, here to help you unlock your power, heal from the past, and create the life and relationships you deserve. In this space, we dive deep into topics like dating, relationships, spirituality, and personal growth, all designed to empower you to step into your highest self. Whether you're seeking clarity, confidence, or connection, you're in the right place. Now, let's get into today's episode. Today, we're talking about one of the most powerful tools in your dating toolbox, the 90-day vetting process. If you ever felt like you're rushing into relationships or struggling to figure out if someone is truly right for you, this process will change everything. In this episode, I'll guide you step by step through how to use these 90 days to set healthy standards and uncover whether someone is worth your time, energy, and heart. The first 90 days of dating are crucial. Think of this time as the discovery phase. It's when you gather information to determine compatibility without becoming emotionally entangled. During these early stages, people are often on their best behavior, but over time, their true selves begin to emerge. The 90-day vetting process gives you space to observe, reflect, and make intentional decisions instead of rushing into something that may not serve you. Before you even begin vetting someone, you need to be clear about what you're looking for. So ask yourself, what are my non-negotiables in a partner? What values must we share? What are my boundaries around intimacy, communication, and respect? So write these questions down along with your answers, because your standards aren't rules to push people away. They're guides to protect your peace and keep you aligned with your worth. During the first 90 days, it's super important that you're asking the right questions, that you're digging deep into compatibility. What's their relationship with money like? What is their relationship with their parents or with their family members like? You want to dig into the areas of life and love that are most important to you. And asking those questions and receiving those answers is very important to do in the first 90 days. This should not be every time you see this person and every time you're in communication with them, it's this surface level conversation about their favorite color, their favorite food. Okay, like we're not in grade school. You're adults, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some energy and effort to get down to the truth of who that person is. And it's going to take time for you to also unfold yourself to them, the true you, right? The good, the bad, and everything in between. So in these first 90 days, that's very important to be asking the right questions. But it's also important to be focused on observing the person's actions rather than taking everything that they're saying as their bond, right? Because we all know that sometimes people lie, okay? And so what we're going to do is they need to back up what they're saying with their actions, okay? And so pay attention to how they treat you and others. Is there kindness? Are they exuding kindness, expressing kindness, respect, consistency? Whether their actions align with what they say, okay? And also how they handle conflict or disappointment is huge, because we all know that if you're dealing with a person who does not have the proper skills, the proper skill set to resolve conflict in a manner that does not, that is not heavily triggering to their partner, if they do not have that skill set, it is going to be very, very difficult for you to actually have long-term potential with that individual. Conflict will arise, challenges will arise, struggles in every relationship, no matter how compatible you are. And so if you have two people who are willing and able, have the skill set to properly handle conflict and disappointment, to communicate during those times, to come together to resolve the issue, instead of allowing egos to take over, this sort of thing. If you're great at resolving conflict together, you have the foundation you need in order to have a long, healthy, passionate, fun relationship. Okay? Period. If either of you or both of you lack skills in the conflict resolution arena, um, you know, you're doomed. Okay? I don't know how else to say it. That's going to be a relationship that is really, really tough and is full of drama. And eventually, either one partner or both partners are going to shut down and you're going to grow apart. Okay? So, this is very, very important. Don't make excuses for red flags or inconsistencies. You need to trust what you see, because sometimes when you meet someone, you tend to build a narrative in your mind about that person, and then you get excited about the possibilities, and then you create this entire future in your mind that is not grounded in reality. And so it's very important that you hold your feet to the ground, that you stay grounded, and that you remain in reality and in observation mode, and you're not jumping into things too quickly. You're going to want to use these first 90 days to dig deeper into their values, their goals, and their character. So here are some questions to ask. What does commitment mean to you? Right? We do not want to ever assume that we're saying words, love, commitment, loyalty, these types of things, and that we're talking about the same exact thing. Never assume that, okay? You need to define your terms and what does commitment mean to you? What does that look like in a romantic sense, in a romantic relationship? Okay? Also, how do you handle stress or difficult situations? You want to ask the question and allow them to respond, and you also want to observe, in those first 3 months, in those first 90 days, how they're actually handling stress, because they're going to tell you one thing, and either their actions when the stress comes up or manifests, either it's going to say, okay, they were honest with me about how they handle stress, or, oh, they have a blind spot here, right? And how they told me they handle stress is not actually in alignment with how they actually handle these situations. And that's something that we need to dig deeper into, okay? Another question here is, what are your long-term goals in life and love? Okay. Of course, these are not a question you're going to ask someone on date one. That's a bit intense of a question for date one, depending on how you date and the demographic that you're dating in. Okay. But these are questions that you want to touch on definitely within those first 90 days. So these questions aren't about interrogating people, but creating meaningful conversations that reveal their true self. One of the hardest parts of the vetting process is resisting the urge to jump ahead emotionally. It's natural to feel excited about a new connection, but staying grounded helps you maintain perspective. So here are some practical tips for this. Spend time with friends and focus on hobbies outside of dating. Journal about your feelings and any patterns you notice. And remind yourself that you're in the process of discovery, not commitment. I cannot stress this enough, okay? That you must fight the urge to push your connection forward, full steam ahead, and get lost in the sauce, so to speak, and get lost in the romance of it and the chemistry and all of this. Because 9.999 times out of 10, that's going to lead to a broken heart. It's going to lead to disappointment. It's going to lead to a big time letdown, okay? Because people are not who or how they seem in the very beginning, early stages of dating. They don't turn out to be that person after, 8 months, a year, three years in, okay? So we have to have our wits about us in those early stages of dating. And it is important that no matter how connected you feel and no matter how intense that chemistry is up front, that you do take time away from one another. You do spend time away, like, I mentioned before, friends, hobbies, that sort of thing, because that's the time where you're going to be able to actually reflect upon what is actually happening versus what your chemical what the chemicals in your brain are telling you is happening. Okay, so which can be very, very misleading. So at the end of the 90 days, take some time to reflect. Again, every 90 days in that relationship is a time to reflect. Every 3 months, you want to take some time, whether it's like a couple days or whatever, to ask yourself if you feel safe. Do you feel respected and valued with this person? Are your values and goals aligned? And are you settling for less than what you deserve? Right? And deserve is kind of a tricky word because I think it's been weaponized a bit. I think people overutilize the word deserving, and now there's all of this toxicity around it where everyone's like, well, you deserve the absolute best and you deserve exactly what you want in a partner and all of this. And the truth is that you don't. The truth is that you deserve what you're in alignment with. And that's period. Okay? You deserve what you're in alignment with. And so if you are holding deep-seated insecurities and you have a lot of issues around self-worth and all of this, you're going to attract a partner in who is in alignment with that. And in that moment, that is what you deserve because that's where you're in alignment with, and that person has entered your life to teach you things and give you an opportunity to grow. And that person's going to press your buttons, and that person's going to trigger the heck out of you. And it's all on purpose, and it's all by design. It's so that you have the opportunity, these issues that you may be carrying within you are now in your face, and now these issues must be dealt with, right? And so your brain is going to be magnetized to the people who are actually truthfully in alignment with you, with whatever is going on within your internal belief systems, what you believe to be true about you, how you actually truly see yourself, not what you tell people that you think about yourself, but what's really going on. So this is part of dating that we cannot hide from ourselves. All of our strengths and weaknesses are left to bear in the dating process. We're constantly being exposed, okay? And that exposure is not a punishment. It is a gift. It is a golden opportunity to say, okay, this person came into my life and is pressing my buttons and is bringing all of these shadows out. And I don't like that. I don't like this feeling. I don't like what's happening here. This is definitely not my person. Well, it could be that they're not your long-term partner, but that person is in your life for good reason. And if you would take a moment to reflect about what that reason could be, you would have the golden opportunity to learn from that and to strengthen that weakness that might be lingering within you that may not have been dealt with for a very long time. And then when you go back out into the dating world, you'll notice that you're attracting people who are of a higher caliber, who are maybe more aware, who are maybe more loyal, who are maybe want more of what you want for yourself, who are more in alignment with your highest vision for yourself in love. Okay, it's amazing how that happens. The more inner work that we do, and the more that we see every date that we have and every encounter with someone that we have, the more that we understand that, oh, this is showing me something about myself. It's not that everything this person has going on is exactly in alignment with me. No, it's that there are key aspects going on here between me and this other individual that is definitely showing me more about myself. And my job is to tune into that and pay attention to that. And so journaling will help you with that, because when you're dating people and you're having all these feelings coming up and you're noticing these patterns and things, you could be noticing patterns in another person that you also have that you weren't aware of. And now it's your time to be able to address that. And so you can thank the people that you date for their service in that way. Okay. And again, there's a lot of talk about keeping, especially as a woman, keeping your standards quite high. You want the highest standards, you want the best man possible, all of this. I'm more about keeping your standards realistic, right? Which is why within this process of vetting others, it's so important that you are on a self-discovery process before you even get to this point where you're kind of like examining and observing other people and saying, do we fit? Are you good enough? Are we compatible? Are we in alignment? Before you ever get to that point in dating, you need to take that block of time to reflect on you and to see who you actually are, not necessarily who you want to be or how you want people to perceive you, but who you actually are in the here and now. It's not a negative thing to look at ourselves through that clear lens. What it does is it liberates us, because if we're lying to ourselves, we're inadvertently lying to the people around us as well. And we end up trying to enter into connections that are not actually for us because of that, right? So seeing yourself clearly is going to help you leaps and bounds, going to be so beneficial to you in the dating process, because then you're going to know how to see other people clearly as well. And the more you know yourself, the better you know the people around you, the people who are currently in your life and the people who are coming into your life in the near future. Okay? Know thyself is huge in dating. It begins there. And then this is the next step, is being able to properly vet your dates and your potential partners. Okay? This is not the time to dive in headfirst and abandon all common sense. This is a time where you do have to keep your wits about you. You do have to be open. You do have to learn how to connect with someone without, giving your full self to them, up front, without knowing who this person actually is. Okay? So it's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache, in the long run. It's going to give you peace of mind to actually know who you're dealing with before you start really, truly, deeply bonding with someone. Because within those 90 days, I'd say within those first 3 to 5 months, if you abandon all logic and reason, common sense in this way, when behaviors come out, because they will, and if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now and you have any experience in dating, you know this, that eventually that person's true self is going to come out and is going to pop its head up to the surface. And if you ignore that, and if you're so head over heels for that person that you just put blinders on, you know that spells disaster in the long run. You know that. And so please learn from those experiences and understand that you are getting to know someone who is a stranger to you, and it's not a great idea to fully commit yourself to someone you don't truly know. It's not a good idea to fully fall in love with someone and you don't really know who that person is or how they operate out in the real world, or what they're actually bringing to the table when it comes to a romantic relationship, and what they're actually looking for and what their expectations are of their partner, right? You don't know that, then it's very dangerous, risky business to go all in. And so that's what this 90-day vetting process is really for. It's for you. It's protection. And it's also training you. It's training you to date like an adult and not date like a teenager. Oh my gosh, they're so hot. And oh my gosh, and then you're in it. You're in a full-blown relationship with a stranger. That's some teenage stuff. And if you're an adult, you're not going to get great results. If you're looking for something long-term, that's stable, that's healthy, where the passion lasts, you're not going to get that by dating in that way. Dating from the mindset of an addict, someone who's addicted to the thrill of the initial chemistry and passion blast that can hit you in dating. If you're dating like an addict, in that way you're chasing the high of chemistry. And if you're dating in the way where you're abandoning all logic, reason, and common sense because you want so badly to be in a committed relationship, that you're just going to enter one with a complete stranger, you know that the outcomes of those two scenarios are not great. They're not usually healthy, and they don't usually last, and it's not good overall. And so 90-day vetting process kind of trains your brain to start dating like an adult and keep your wits about you while you are being open for someone to get to know you, and while you are asking good questions, that are in alignment with core values and compatibility and all of this, wants and needs and goals and all of that, expectations, right? So that's what this process is about. It's about dating like an adult. It's about keeping your common sense and your wits about you while you are looking for your partner, okay? And it's also about authenticity. It gives you the opportunity to answer questions honestly and openly, to be quite candid, and to just put your cards on the table, because that is what's going to align you with someone who is truly for you. If you cannot be honest, good, bad, and everything in between, if you cannot be honest, you cannot expect honesty from the person sitting across from you. And if you cannot be honest with yourself about your needs and wants in romance, and you cannot verbalize that to another person, then, you're going to end up in partnerships where that person does not really know you, does not really know how to show up for you, and is not in alignment with you. Okay? And so we were taught the opposite. We were taught, put your best foot forward. There are certain things in the dating process you just don't discuss. Certain things just kind of glaze over them. You don't want to scare the person away. All of these things. Well, that doesn't work. The data is in, folks. Okay? So, it doesn't work. It doesn't give you the relationship that you're looking for, and it doesn't align you with the people who will fully accept you for who you are and love the hell out of you for who you truly are. It does not work, so stop doing that. Okay? So the 90-day vetting process gives you purpose and intention in how you are getting to know someone new. I really, really hope that this helps you, okay? It's about reclaiming your power and approaching dating with intention. It's not about being overly cautious. It's about making sure you're building a relationship on a foundation of trust, respect, and shared values. If today's episode resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to go deeper into your self-discovery journey, join my Patreon community where we explore transformative topics like dating, relationships, spirituality, philosophy, and more. You'll also find my beautifully designed digital guides filled with life-changing insights available on Patreon and on my website at 858society.com. Both links are in the description, and I can't wait to connect with you there. I'll be back soon with another empowering episode to help you unlock your fullest potential. I'm sending you much love and light. Take care, my friend.